Have you ever reached a moment when your fear felt louder than your faith? When the pressure around you seemed so strong that standing for what is right felt almost impossible? If you've ever tasted that tension, then today's story will speak directly to your heart. Because some of God's greatest victories happen in the darkest places, where courage feels small and danger feels close. Welcome to Faith and English Bible Stories, where every story opens your heart to God and strengthens your English through calm, clear, emotional narration. Today, we travel back to ancient Babylon, a kingdom of towering walls, shining palaces, and powerful kings. And in the center of it all stands one man whose faith never bent, Daniel. A young exile with a heart rooted in God. A man whose loyalty to truth turned a night of terror into a testimony for generations. Picture this scene: the glow of royal torches at dusk, the whispers of jealous officials plotting in shadows, the quiet strength of a man who chose prayer over compromise. Daniel isn't just a character in Scripture. He is a reminder that integrity still matters, that courage still speaks, and that God still protects those who trust Him, even when the world stands against them. So take a deep breath. Let the noise of life fade for a moment. Allow this ancient story to open a window inside your spirit, a window where faith grows, fear breaks, and God's presence becomes real again. Because Daniel's night with the lions is more than a miracle. It is a message for anyone standing in front of their own impossible situation. And before we move on, write one simple word in the comments: faith. A faithful heart in a powerful empire. The story of Daniel unfolds in the vast kingdom of Babylon, a land of stone palaces, golden crowns, and voices that echoed through long marble halls. After defeating many nations, Babylon gathered people from every corner of the earth: scholars, craftsmen, soldiers, and young men chosen for their wisdom and discipline. Among them stood Daniel, carried away from Jerusalem, yet carrying something far more powerful than a nation's flag: an unshakable faith. Imagine the scene. The city glows under the heat of the desert sun. Markets overflow with spices, music, and foreign languages. Tall statues rise like giants. Powerful rulers command armies with a single word. And in the middle of this impressive world lives a young man who kneels 3 times a day, opening his window toward Jerusalem, praying to a God many around him do not know. Babylon valued power, loyalty, and strength, but Daniel valued obedience above everything else. As years passed, Daniel rose to a position few exiles ever reached. His wisdom impressed kings. His integrity silenced corruption. His spirit drew respect even from those who envied him. But when light shines, shadows move. And while Daniel served faithfully, jealous officials whispered in secret corners, searching for a weakness, a fault, a reason to destroy him. They found none, except his devotion to God. This is where the story begins to shift. The palace looks peaceful, but beneath its walls, a trap is being formed. A law is about to be signed. A test is about to begin. And heaven is already preparing a miracle that will echo through generations. Because God often chooses ordinary settings, a window, a room, a law, a moment, to reveal extraordinary power. Before we continue, write one simple word in the comments: trust. The decree that turned faith into danger. The conflict begins quietly, like a shadow stretching across a room. The officials who served alongside Daniel watched him rise higher, gaining favor with King Darius. Every decision Daniel made was marked by honesty. Every task he touched succeeded. Jealousy grew in their hearts like a poison, and soon their envy turned into a plan not to challenge Daniel's work, but to attack his faith. They searched for faults in his leadership, mistakes in his records, errors in his conduct. They found nothing. Daniel's life was a testimony of character, consistent in daylight and darkness. And because they could not destroy his reputation, they targeted the only thing they knew he would never compromise: his prayer life. With flattering words and careful manipulation, they approached the king. "O King Darius, live forever," they said, presenting a new decree. For 30 days, no one in the kingdom could pray to any god or person except the king himself. Anyone who disobeyed would be thrown into the lion's den. It sounded like loyalty, but it was a trap, one crafted with Daniel's devotion at its center. When the decree was signed, the empire celebrated the new law. But Daniel did not hide. He went to his room, opened the windows toward Jerusalem, and prayed, just as he had always done. Not louder, not quieter, not differently. His faith held steady while danger approached with every passing hour. The officials rushed to the king, hearts racing with triumph. "Daniel has broken your law," they said. And though the king loved Daniel, the law of the Medes and Persians could not be changed. With sorrow in his eyes, Darius ordered Daniel to be taken to the lion's den. The night was filled with panic and plotting, but heaven was silent, waiting for the moment faith would meet its test. Before we move on, write one simple word in the comments: courage. The night the lions went silent, the night fell heavy over Babylon as Daniel was brought to the lion's den. Torches flickered against the stone walls, casting shadows that danced like flames. The king followed, his steps slow, his face troubled. Though he was a ruler of nations, in this moment he felt powerless. "May your God, whom you serve, continually rescue you," he whispered, a prayer from a king who suddenly longed for faith as strong as Daniel's. The stone was lifted. The lions stirred, their growls echoing through the chamber like thunder. Daniel was lowered into the darkness, and the stone was sealed with the king's own signet ring. No escape, no second chance, no human hope. But heaven does not measure possibility the way earth does. While the world saw certain death, God saw a moment to reveal his power. The king spent the night without food, music, or sleep. His palace was filled with silence, but Daniel's den was filled with something far greater: the presence of God. At dawn, Darius rushed to the entrance, calling out with a trembling voice, "Daniel, servant of the living God, has your God been able to rescue you from the lions?" And then, the miracle broke through the morning air. "May the king live forever," Daniel replied. "My God sent his angel, and he shut the mouths of the lions. They have not hurt me, not a scratch, not a wound." The lions rested like gentle creatures because the creator of the universe had spoken. Peace into their very breath, a miracle in the dark, a testimony in the danger, a victory born from obedience. Before we continue, write one simple word in the comments: miracle. Courage that echoes through generations. Daniel's night in the lion's den was more than an act of divine rescue. It became a message that echoed across kingdoms and generations. This miracle was not about lions becoming weak. It was about faith becoming strong. Daniel did not survive because he was powerful, influential, or perfect. He survived because he trusted God when obedience carried a cost. What makes this story timeless is not the danger Daniel faced, but the decision he made before the danger ever arrived. Long before the decree, long before the trap, long before the den, Daniel built a life anchored in daily prayer. He prayed in peace, and that faith sustained him in crisis. His habits shaped his courage. His devotion shaped his destiny. The lesson is clear. Faith is not something we activate only when trouble comes. It is something we cultivate every day so that when trials rise, we stand unshaken. Daniel teaches us that honor is more valuable than approval, integrity more precious than safety, and obedience more powerful than fear. When Daniel was lifted from the den unharmed, even the king proclaimed that the God of Daniel lives forever. A kingdom that once worshipped statues now witnessed the hand of the living God. And through one man's courage, an entire empire heard a testimony of deliverance. Today, your lions may not have fur or teeth. They may be stress, injustice, loneliness, or fear. But the God who shut the lions' mouths is the same God who walks with you. Before we move to the final part, write one simple word in the comments: hope. The God who still shuts the mouths of lions as this story closes. Let Daniel's journey stay close to your heart. The Bible is filled with miracles, but each one carries a personal invitation. Daniel's courage invites you to trust. His obedience invites you to surrender. His rescue invites you to believe that God is still present in every dark place you face. Daniel walked into a den expecting nothing but God, and God was enough. That same truth is yours today. No matter the challenge, no matter the pressure, no matter the fear, the God who stood with Daniel stands with you. His protection is not limited by circumstances. His power is not weakened by danger. And his love is not distant in moments of uncertainty. This is why Faith and English Bible Stories exists, to strengthen your spirit and your English through stories that carry eternal truth. Every episode is a reminder that faith still transforms, hope still rises, and God still works in the shadows of our lives. If this story touched your heart, share it with someone who needs strength today. And remember to subscribe so you can continue this journey of faith, language, and discovery with us. Until our next story. May God's peace rest on your home, His courage fill your spirit, and His protection surround you in every step. And before you go, write one simple word in the comments: God.